Hello everyone, this is Zeeebo and welcome to this AFK journey video. So Ravaged Realm just dropped on the VN server, and in today's video we're gonna run through my best free-to-play teams for the Ravaged Realm with my VN account right here. So starting off, we are gonna run through the mechanics of the boss and then showcase the runs itself before recommending my own free-to-play teams. So starting off, as speculated from the video yesterday, Thalassa is the Ravaged Realm boss right here. So for this game mode, you will be able to challenge other players in terms of the ranking. So from the district ranking side, these are the different rewards. So we will be able to get the Valor rewards for the frames, getting the Twilight Essence, the Branko Essence, as well as the Radiant Crest. So we will be able to get this Radiant Crest resource from this daily district ranking over here. So that is for those of you guys who are concerned of upgrading your Mythic Charm from the V+ rank to the V++ rank itself. There's also the currency, right, Grimstone over here for you to exchange within the Emporium shop itself. So that's for the daily Ravaged Realm district ranking. So for those of you guys who are not familiar with Ravaged Realm, after the rotation cycle itself, there will be a final score calculation, which is known as the Ultimate Sage, where you will be able to challenge all 4 different factions all at the same time for you to get your final total score for a final score ranking itself. So this game mode is a little bit like Dream Realm on a day-to-day basis, but you have 4 different factions: the Graveborn Immortal Squad, Mauler Dauntless Squad, Wilder Sylvian Squad, as well as the Light Bearer Aurora Squad right here. So for today's cycle, we have the Immortal Squad, and based on the available heroes, you will be able to use all the Graveborn heroes together with Skalita, Talin, as well as Danlia right here. So all the units will get a plus 25% damage boost, and you will be able to take a look at the other formations shared by the other players right here. So this is with regards to the formation sharing side. You also will be able to view your records right here. So I have quite a few runs after multiple rounds of testings, and we're going to run through my best teams later. So for this squad, this is the roster over here. So Immortal Squad is Graveborn, Skalita, Talin together with Danlia. Dauntless Squad is the Maulers together with Barrow. Sylvian is Wilders with Dino as well as Reina. So yeah, you guys probably know where this is going. The Dino Hyper Carry team, I guess. And then for the Light Bearer one, we have Harak together with Fresto and the Light Bearers itself. So there's a 25% damage boost on the Immortal Squad, 20% damage boost on the Sylvian Squad, and you have all this different trial progression with regards to the calculation. So for the Ultimate Sage, it will be all the scores together, and on a day-to-day rotational basis, we will go by the squad for the 16-day squad rotation right here. So there will be a daily reward and there will be a final ranking right here, as you guys can see. So for the final ranking, we are competing for Abyssal Essence, okay, 15 Stellar Crystals with the Shadowed Tide full set over here. So is there a possibility for me to check out the full set? Let me go into the cosmetic side first. Okay, just a little bit of side tracking before we go into the teams. So go into fashion. Okay, so can we equip the costume here? Summer Wave, Floating Right, Deep Sea Tail, nope. Weathered Garb, oh, is it not even in the shop yet? Oh, we do have this though, right? No, this is Fishbowl Exchange. Oh, so it's not even released here for us to preview yet, I think. But we can actually try it on within the game mode, so that's that. But that's for those of you guys who are interested in terms of the equipment side of things. Now let's run through the mechanics of the boss and then talk about my day 1 best free-to-play teams. Okay, so we have Thalassa over here, her ultimate Fairy Storm. Color of Thalassa's relic determines the effect of this skill. So if it's green color, she summons Tidal Wave to deal damage to all enemies and stunning them for 2 seconds. And if it's red color, she summons a Water Vortex to deal damage to all enemies and then perform an extra attack on 3 enemies with the highest HP percentage to cause additional damage. So that's the ultimate Fairy Storm. So this is Thalassa's Dance. So she alternates between the green green and red color relic state. So in the green relic state, she is invincible, so you can't do damage to her and you can't control her, and she awakens 4 tentacles to assist her in battle. So once all the 4 tentacles are defeated, her invincibility ends and she transitions into the red relic state to do damage to all enemies. So in the red relic state, she will be able to cast even more powerful skills, although she don't have her tentacles to protect her. So she will be alternating between the green form as well as the red form, which we will see later. And this is a leveling skill, which means that the time for her to transform between the red form as well as the green form decreases with increased level. So one good thing about this season is you are able to skip to the endless mode immediately if you are strong enough. If your dream round side is endless mode, I think you should be able to skip to endless mode like I did for this boss fight over here. So that's for the second skill. Now next we have dynamic tentacles. So she smash or sweep enemies. So smash is 90% damage to all enemies in a targeted path. Sweep is 110% damage to all enemies itself. So you can't really control this, you just need some sort of heal to help you stay healthy. And then we have Colossal Dread right here. Activates only when Thalassa is in the red relic state. So marks the furthest enemy with dead type mark, reducing their vitality by 60 for 12 seconds. And after 5 seconds, Thalassa will pull the enemy to the center of the battlefield to deal damage and stun them for 3 seconds. So for this battle over here, we will be able to activate our factional talent buff, which means that to a certain extent you kind of want to try to get your factional talent buff built up to a certain level. So the only one that you probably don't need is the Dust Light Fusion. So I guess if you're somebody who's free to play and you're trying to min-max your resources, hopefully you have saved up enough reset tickets so that you can use it for this event. I think it's probably the last one that you will need the factional talent for, although there's still the Hawk Havoc as well as another fishing game mode which probably don't require it. So this is something to take note, right? This factional talent will be in play, so the stat bonus as well as the ability will kick in. However, for the Grave Bomb factional talent, for now, I don't know whether or not it's a bug, because supposedly for the Grave Bomb factional talent right here, you should be able to actually restore HP and gain permanent stats when you defeat or assist an enemy. So by right, I think the tentacle should be an enemy that you can gain stats of, but from the battle later on, you guys will see that you don't actually get those buffs. So I'm not sure whether or not it's intended, but at least based on the day 1 observation, you don't get the stat buff when you kill the tentacles itself. So for this one, for this ability right here, we will be mainly focusing on getting the additional stats gain on the sacrifice unit for our prime carriers, which are going to be our carries. So as usual, the prime carriers will be able to do additional damage as well as get resistance to HP reducing effect. And looking at the abilities right here, there's this mark the furthest enemy as a sacrifice for 15 seconds, so does that additional damage, and that's pretty much it. I don't think the heal actually function for the second line. The 100% of the sacrifice lost HP per second will be converted into a shield for the prime carrier, I think is in play, so you will be able to protect your carriers at the back for you to get maximum damage here. So without further ado, let's run through the boss fights. Let me just reposition my units a little bit and see whether or not I can get better damage. Okay, so we're not going to talk about our team, we're going to run through the mechanics first and then we showcase our best runs. Okay, we go at one time. So starting off the battle, she is in the green state, so she has the 2 tentacles and you can't do damage to her. So you need to kill off the tentacles before you are able to jam in damage into the boss right here. Unfortunately, we are not able to see the number of debuffs on the boss, but you can see on our side, we are not getting any attack or defense buff after we kill the tentacles. So that means that for now, the Grave Bomb factional talent buff does not kick in. But right here, the boss transforms into the red stat, which gets that bonus on the ultimate, and also the ability to mark one of your allies with the dead type mark, which is our dear what's his name again? Viperion over here. Yeah, so because he's the furthest unit, so he'll be marked with this one, unfortunately, and then he will be put to the center, and then the next furthest unit will be marked with the next round of the dead type mark. So after a little bit, right, the boss will actually transform back into the green state. So we have to kill off the tentacles once again, and then the cycle repeats. So this is the green state, as you guys can see right here. So no stat gains throughout the entire battle, just the bonus gain from Torrent. So we are taking Torrent stats and feeding it to our Viperion as well as Talin right here. Okay, so transform, deal massive AoE damage. That's why I think for this boss you need some sort of sustain, or you need a unit that's able to tank the damage of the boss. So one thing I realized is you don't actually get any HP recovery when you kill the tentacles as well. So this is why, since both the heals as well as the stat gain is not working, I'm assuming the tentacle is not considered like an enemy, it's considered like a summon instead. So you don't get those good bonuses from the factional talent. So that's that. Okay, that's for the mechanic side. Let's see whether or not we get a better damage, because technically this should be my most optimal team. Okay, unfortunately not the best damage, but so far my best damage is about 60 mil right here with my pretty decent hero collection, right, in terms of the Grave 1 side. Okay, so I'm going to explain the unit, and then I'm going to showcase the best damage run, which is one of the runs recorded, so we'll go through the files later. So for this game mode over here, I'm splitting my teams into obviously the magical side as well as the physical side. And if we take a look at my current hero collection right here, let's just remove all the heroes so you guys can take a look at my hero quality. Talin, right? Talin is actually one of the strongest damage dealer. In fact, she's probably the hardest hitting one, because if we go into records, okay, I tell you what, let's go into my highest record and then we show the formation from there. So should be this one. Yeah, so there's a little bit of RNG factor here as well. So you guys can see, right? My Talin is only at 1 copy. So she does have the Mythic Plus charm for her to get a lot more damage, but Talin will be a key damage dealer for this boss over here. And then we run Ludovic for the sustain to back Talin up as she's casting her ultimate. Viperion, because Viperion's like one of my stronger units right here, as you guys can see in terms of tier, Supreme Plus with EX Weapon 5. And then Torrent, also one of my stronger units. So we will be using Torrent as the sacrifice target for my Viperion as well as Talin to get the additional stats. So Ludovic will be placed in front of Talin for her to do massive damage. Then the next strongest unit would be our dear Carolina right here. So Carolina is also there because if you do have Carolina as Supreme Plus, Ice Vortex is allowing your whole team to do more damage by applying an additional layer of magical defense debuff. Unfortunately for my Carolina, as you guys can see, only legendary, so she's just there for the additional magical damage to proc my artifact right here. So we are using the arcane spell artifact for additional magical damage as well as magical defense down. Now for the second team, we are running Hodgkin together with Cecile over here. So I'll say for the second team, I don't really have a choice in a sense, because for the second team itself, since I used some of my strongest unit in the first team, I'm only left with these 3 units. So the team formation goes like this. It's a 5-3 formation, so you need to fill at least 8 units here. And then with regards to this fight, we are using Hodgkin on the front line because this unit can heal himself, can take some of the damage from the boss, and also get like the additional physical damage for us to proc our quick great sword spell over here. So this is the formation, pure physical team. I think Salazzo might actually work as well, but Salazzo doesn't actually have a way to sustain himself. So that's why I chose Hodgkin instead, because my Hodgkin is able to heal himself and provide for more damage for the team, because Hodgkin is a pretty decent damage dealer even at just 1 copy. So let's say if you have Hodgkin as Supreme Plus, then you will be able to get that additional physical defense debuff over here, okay, to actually give your other physical carries more damage. So this will be, I'll say, like my ideal physical team, at least on the first day. So without further ado, let's run through the replay over here. Okay, so let's run through the replay and let's start the battle. So we'll go at 1 time. So my Torrent is the sacrifice target because he's one of the higher stated units other than Viperion. So Viperion is the DPS, and then we have all the different units dealing damage to the tentacles, with Viperion's EX weapon being able to also do AoE damage to quickly bring down the tentacles as well. So this is where the boss starts to transform. Talin starts to cast the ultimate, and then we have Ludovic to continuously heal up Talin for her to channel her ultimate for maximum damage. Okay, so it would be a lot more busted if we could get stats off the tentacles, because we will be killing the tentacles for quite a bit. But this is pretty much, I'll say, probably the best thing on the magical side. So you can obviously optimize your damage with better magical charms, because the only ones with full set magical charm in this team, I think, is only Talin right now. So I will try to work up the magical charms for my other units to see whether or not I can get better damage. Okay, so this is with regards to this team. So Talin will be unleashing the AoE ultimate, which will allow you to do damage to the tentacles together with the boss right here. There's also a Scarletta possibility, but I don't think Scarletta will be likely. And one thing about this season's Ravaged Realm, I'm going to go 2 times. So basically this cycle will go through by itself. And then eventually my Ludovic did die. But I think we are towards the end of the battle, so I guess all is good. Okay, my Talin is still channeling the ultimate really nicely. So I believe if I have a higher tier on Talin, I will be able to hit a lot harder. So this is battle number 1. Okay, a lot of damage on my 1 copy Talin. Now battle number 2 over here. So what I would say is for this fight itself, I think the boss is pretty much weaker to the physical as well as the magical side of things. So Scarletta being true damage sounds nice on paper, but I don't think she's gonna be as impactful. Maybe I could be wrong because Scarletta doesn't actually provide a buff for the team. And then we also have the likes of Thalassa. There's also Niru. But Niru, other than the attack buff, is I would probably want to try Niru here, maybe after this recording, and then see the positioning, because he does have a really good attack buff, which could give my carry additional damage for 45 seconds. So that's that for Niru. That's another thing I'm gonna try. Thalassa, I doubt so, cause like this boss is kind of resistant to HP percentage damage and HP reducing damage. So I don't think Thalassa is gonna be a good pick. There's also Igor. So that's that. Those are the few units which I kind of want to try. But for this account over here, I'm just basically playing with like my strongest units as a carry with other pieces. So you guys can see throughout the whole fight, right? My Hodgkin was standing on the front line, tanking, transforming, and then taking hits from the boss. So that's one of the reasons why I'm using him, other than him being the physical damage dealer for the additional debuff over here. So that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you very much for tuning in. Do remember to like and subscribe to see more. See you guys again in my next video. Bye guys.